Hey everyone, it's Dave from the Brain Bulwark, and I brought you a new presentation today, and this one's going to be on Oxiracetam. Now this is in the same family as Piracetam, which we've discussed on our website before, but it's a little more potent, and it offers a few unique characteristics that's going to make us want to consider it when building future stacks. So first, let's just go over the basics of Oxiracetam. What we're looking to get out of it, if there's any side effects, so on and so forth, like we usually cover. So, as I said, it's in the same family as Piracetam, Aniracetam, Pramiracetam, etc., etc., and it's used to increase the ability to learn. This is one of the primary focuses when using it, and it also has a strong body of support that shows it prevents cognitive decline. And when we build these stacks, not only do we want to have performance-based nootropics, but we also want to have health and longevity-based nootropics, and that's how you build a very well-rounded, solid stack. So it's going to give you the foundation of health and longevity, and it's also going to give you those cognitive boosts that we're looking to get out of it. So, like the other racetams, it is a synthetic nootropic, meaning it does not naturally occur in nature. It might sound a little foreign to some people, but most of the vitamins and everything else, half the stuff we use is synthetic. Insulin people take is from genetically modified. Most stuff is synthetic. Don't look at that as a bad thing. And as I said, it's used to delay cognitive decline and reduce adverse effects of aging. And those are interchangeable. All right, so let's go over its mechanism of action, which is basically how it works. So the first aspect of its mechanism, and this is similar to Aniracetam and Piracetam, is it's a positive AMPA modulator. And more or less, this is going to help increase that ability to learn, process information, consolidate information, as we had mentioned before. Without going too in depth on this, you guys can always email me and I'll go over things in much more exhaustive depths if you so wish. But for now, what we're concerned about is the increase in glutamate, acetylcholine, and D-aspartic acid. Those are three biggies that we're looking to focus on. And what those do, and acetylcholine is obviously a biggie because we're going to be always having a choline source in all of our stacks. So the fact that Oxiracetam can contribute to that, a huge perk. And Oxiracetam also helps improve hippocampus-mediated learning, and it does so by increasing the amount of a protein called membrane-bound protein kinase C. You don't need to remember the name, but the moral of that story is it works in the hippocampus. The learning that's associated with that part of the brain and mediated by that part is improved. Okay, and another good thing, a good sign from the research was its oral availability, and peak serum levels were actually shown to occur within 1 to 3 hours after ingesting this nootropic. So that's a great sign that it has good bioavailability. The blood-brain barrier is not impeding its absorption to any significant degree. So we can move forward when considering this. And now let's wrap this up and we'll figure out what this all means for you as a user of this nootropic. And first and foremost, I always keep it honest with everybody. I wanted to point out that a lot of the benefits you hear about, it's mostly anecdotal. So there hasn't been too much double-blind, placebo-based clinical trials in young, healthy humans that's shown these major cognitive benefits that everybody's received. Now, this isn't to say we should throw this out, but I just want everybody to be aware that a lot of the benefits are being more reported by users than the scientific community. And it's neither here nor there because we're going to do the same thing we do with everything else. We're going to give it a trial run, see how we respond, and then either move forward or remove it. And that's the beauty of learning how to tweak your own stack based on how you respond. And that's the ultimate way to build your stack. And that's another reason why I'm against all these pre-made proprietary blend products, because if you don't respond well to their profile, you're stuck, and you're most likely out $50, which is months worth of the nootropics we're buying. Okay, so on that note, some of the anecdotal feedback, which is just basically feedback from people in a small sample size, or usually sample size of one, user-based feedback. Most people have mentioned the improved memory and learning, which we talked about, and also some have mentioned an enhanced ability to speak confidently and fluently. And for those of you involved in public speaking, giving presentations, talking in front of people, having to be personable or social, Oxiracetam is definitely something you should consider for that. A lot of people have also mentioned this overall sense of joy and happiness, and that's most likely just a byproduct of it because they may have been in a bit of a deficit for what it increases. So while I won't say that it's common or likely, it was something interesting that I wanted to mention as a possibility. Okay. Now, as I said, for those of you who think you could benefit from these abilities that it increases above, I do think it's a nootropic that we should consider. So if you think you want to work on your memory and learning, your ability to speak fluently, or just try and give it a shot to see if it gives you that sense of joy, then I do think this needs to have some serious consideration when building your future stacks. Alright, so let's go over doses. Okay, how much oxiracetam is needed? And one of my favorite papers, it actually quantitatively analyzed that peak serum level and the human plasma doses, how much dose it takes to reach the peak serum in human plasma, basically. And it reported that a single dose of 800 milligrams gave us the maximum amount of oxiracetam that you can achieve in human plasma within 60 minutes. I did find another study that had shown 150 minutes, so I want to mention that as well, so you guys aren't timing it, staring at your clock, and when the 60-minute mark hits, you're waiting to be blown away. It might take 2 hours and subtly come on, but relatively short amount of time for it to kick in, so that's always a plus. And obviously, based on that research, we're going to go ahead and say right around 800 milligrams if you want to start with 4, 500, even 600, that'd be a good starting point. And 800 would be right around the ceiling we're going to work up to. Alright, now, of course, one of the most important parts of our slides, potential risks. And if you've been following my other videos, you're not too worried about what's to come, because you know I only recommend nootropics that are backed by research, safe, healthy, and improving your longevity. So, a lot of the side effects that I did come across were megadose studies, meaning a lot of the studies that had people go all the way up to 1600 milligrams still didn't show any signs of side effects. So we are well within the range of being incredibly safe when adding this to our stacks. Alright, so in the bottom I always put this because it's first and foremost when using nootropics, and that's responsibility. So you're going to take this knowledge that I'm giving you and you're going to need to apply it. You don't want to be taking 2 grams your first day and expect everything to be okay. Just like anything else, too much of a good thing is no longer a good thing. So let's keep it responsible and stick around that 800 milligram mark, especially because we're reaching the maximum amount that we want in our blood system anyway. Alright, so these are a few of the retailers I usually like to go over, just to point you guys in a good direction, where to buy your stuff and the quality source you can go to. Peak Nootropics and health supplement wholesalers. I've spoken with both of the owners personally in email. They're both quality sources. They do their homework. Good customer service. So feel free to go here. There's a few wholesalers on Amazon that I've seen that look decent, but Amazon is just such a jungle, and it's such a beast. There's so many retailers that it's really hard for me to find out which ones are good, especially because it's hard to get in touch with them through Amazon. So for now, I stick with these two. They're tried and true, and they've given me everything I could need from an online retailer. So, that this part's up to you, but, this is just a little bit of homework I did for you guys. Okay, so just to wrap it up quick, Oxiracetam would be a great addition to a stack you already have. So if you're running something that we always recommend in our basic stack section in the course, this is somewhere you'd go to bring it to the next level safely. Okay, it's a great complement. It works awesome with Piracetam, some of the stimulants we use, some of the herbs. It won't inhibit any anxiolytic effect that we're going for, anxiety reducing. So there's really no reason not to consider it for trying to build a stack. All right? And feel free to click on that link below, sign up for any future content I release, join the newsletter, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.